On New Year's Day in 1983, the internet as we know it was born, and nobody could predict what would ensue in the decades that followed. Fundamentally, the entire world had to change how it communicated, as it had to accommodate an entirely new world that was the internet. And one law shaped this new world more than any other: Section 230. In 1996, Congress was forced to respond to the rapid evolution of the internet, and in doing so added a new section to the Communications Act of 1934. The new section, better known as Section 230, contained many new provisions for how the legal system would handle internet law in the future, but one made a bigger mark than any other: Section 230 C.1. This short excerpt stated the following: no provider or user of an interactive computer service shall be treated as the publisher or speaker of any information provided by another information content provider. At its core, this short statement provided immunity for online publishers from the actions and statements of their users. Simply put, communications companies would not be held liable for facilitating criminal activity through their services. For example, if a burglar used Facebook to plan a heist with another burglar, then only the burglar, and not Facebook, would be held liable for the crime. Section 230 allowed free speech and expression to thrive on the internet, building the digital world as we know it today. Many have even called Section 230 the 26 words that made the internet. The law meant that platforms such as Facebook, Google, and Twitter could expand without being held responsible for their users' harmful content. However, as companies protected by Section 230 have expanded into trillion-dollar conglomerates, the public has become more and more skeptical of Section 230. Over the years, many arguments have emerged against this landmark law, revolving around several key institutions which the Act protects. For example, opponents argue that Section 230 enables both individualized and generalized harm, as it does not sufficiently motivate platforms to remove harmful content. Section 230 arguably created the modern internet, but it has historically allowed bad actors to thrive in the same ecosystem. In the past, Section 230 has protected sites which promote revenge porn, harassment, blackmail, child abuse, and sex trafficking. Despite the obviously harmful nature of such sites, it is exceedingly difficult to challenge Section 230 in an American court because of the law's relation to free speech and the First Amendment. Zeran versus AOL is an early example of one such difficult challenge. In 1997, Kenneth Zeran sued America Online, better known as AOL, for allowing people to post content which personally harmed him. Shortly after the Oklahoma City bombing, anonymous AOL users began posting material which glorified the tragedy and pretended to sell t-shirts with offensive slogans. The anonymous posts instructed t-shirt buyers to call Kenneth's home phone number, leading Zeran to receive a barrage of unwanted calls. Zeran later sued AOL, arguing that they did not adequately prevent their users from exposing Zeran's personal details. However, the court found that AOL was protected by Section 230, and even went on to say that lawsuits which challenged the editorial functions of platforms were to be barred moving forward. There have been a variety of other landmark challenges, such as against roommates.com and backpage.com. Despite the severity of those cases, which detail issues of discrimination and sex trafficking, none of these challenges reached the Supreme Court until Gonzalez versus Google did so in 2023. In 2015, Nohemi Gonzalez was killed in a Paris terrorist attack perpetrated by ISIS. Her family is now suing Google, claiming that its subsidiary YouTube is responsible for promoting ISIS recruitment videos via its content recommendation algorithm. Although the case does not specifically prove that the 2015 Paris attackers were ever influenced by ISIS's promotional material on YouTube, the Supreme Court has agreed to hear the case due to its massive potential impact on the internet's future. So why is this case such a huge deal? Lawyers for the victim's family argue that the FBI, the Attorney General, the NSA, and even the White House have all acknowledged how the internet has changed the way in which harmful ideologies propagate. As the internet has grown and its largest platforms have changed their business models, critics argue that re-examining Section 230 is imperative for preventing the toxification of our most crucial communication medium. However, a change to Section 230 could massively change how internet publishing works at a fundamental level. If the law is repealed, aggravated users could easily aim broad legal challenges at major internet platforms. Consequently, the platforms will have to be more cautious about the content they allow, arguably sanitizing the free speech that exists on the internet. For many platforms, this might even spell the end of user-generated content, or UGC, entirely. While many websites currently function as online forums or discussion boards, the majority of them will likely have to shy away from the liability of hosting potentially harmful content. Furthermore, as fewer platforms are able to take on the risk of hosting UGC, market competition will be reduced significantly, and innovation will likely become more stale. New apps which challenge social media giants will become much harder to make. Section 230 is a law that has shaped the internet as we know it today. It has enabled online platforms to host diverse and dynamic user-generated content without fear of legal liability. However, it has also raised concerns about the spread of harmful or illegal content online and the lack of accountability that exists for internet platforms. Many lawmakers want to repeal or reform Section 230 to address these issues, but doing so could have significant financial consequences for the online industry and society as a whole. The future of Section 230 and online speech is uncertain and controversial, but it is important to understand its history and implications before making any changes. Thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.